If only there was a world where I could find something as controllable as this, but as powerful as this. Well, there is this. Hello there! Today we're going to be reviewing the Mobula 7. But before I crack on with that, let's just talk about some changes. So, as you might have seen, I've changed my office. I have also changed the branding of my channel. I've also got a new website, which is paulrosefpv.com. So you should be able to find that. The link will be in the description. And before I start, I'd just like to thank Dronenodes, who have been supporting me in providing me some products to review. So if you ever want to go and check out their website, they have a lot of useful articles around different products, different reviews, all gathered by people from the FPV community. The link to them will also be in the description. Great site. Please go and check it out. Anyway, let's crack on with the review. Okay, so let's talk about the Mobula 7. So it's a 75mm frame running brushless 0802 motors running at 16,000 kV. These are the standard props you get, and you do get a spare set in the box. You are running a Crazy Bee F4 Pro, I think, flight controller, and if you are running in the Europe, you can get a EU version which has got an XM Plus receiver in there, which is what I've got. The problem with that is you lose smart audio because you're giving up some UARTs. On any other one, I think, with the exception of, I think, the Spectrum one, you get smart audio with this, and it will work with the built-in receiver that's already on the flight controller itself, which is really quite good. This runs Betaflight, and I'm running Betaflight 4 on here. You might as well run the latest. And that's really cool because you can do all your config, etc. It has a beeper built into it, which is quite useful when you've lost it behind the sofa or in a field, which is what I did a few weeks ago. So it's pretty nice in that respect. The other thing that I quite like that's a real design advantage is it's got a fully adjustable camera, so you can adjust your camera angle. These are all things that really improve it over the Beta FPV 65X that I was looking at, because this camera, while sort of adjustable, if you want to learn how to do that, check out Andy RC's channel, it was too aggressive and it just wasn't right, whereas this seemed to be very sensible straight out of the box. The other thing this has that was not even remotely around when we were looking at the 65X, it has all the instructions. So it tells you how to bind the receiver, it tells you how to set everything up. So it's a really good starting experience for a mini quad. And I'll add to that by saying you also get a charger. This charger, I've got the standard edition, so it comes with a 6-port charger that can be charged with an XT60 or a 12-volt power supply. This can charge both normal 1S batteries with the right collectors, or it will do the high voltage, and you also have different options in terms of what C rating you charge at, so you can charge them faster or slower. I mean, it's not massive, but it's a really useful thing to have in your kit box to start with. You also get a little screwdriver, which I'm not going to talk about. The screwdriver that's good for adjusting this. As I said, you get 4 batteries, which is a great place to start, so you can really get going for 80 quid plus a set of goggles, so finding a good set of cheap goggles, and a receiver. I mean, I like my my FrSky X Lite. That's really good for me because I'm a gamer. So you get quite a lot straight out of the box, and it actually works pretty well straight away. The other thing that really sets this apart, and I thought was a really nice feature, is you get a little jumper cable, which you could make yourself, but why would you want to? And what this does, it allows you to plug into one of the 2 connectors that are underneath the frame itself. And what you can do is you can short one of those, and that means you can run this on 1S, which means you can run it around your house without any problems at all, and it will fly really nicely and safely, and well, safely as you can without getting caught in people's hair. But it gives it so much range that you can do with this. You can fly indoors, you can fly outdoors, so that's really, really quite impressive. So yeah, you can short this out and fly it on 1S, or you can fly it on 2S, and that just for me is really, really good. Okay, so let's now take it around my house a little bit, and we'll see how it performs on 1S, 2S, and we'll also take it outside and see what it can do when we throw it around like a 5-inch. Okay, so first up we're going to test this out on 1S. So I'm running it on a high voltage 1S 260 milliamp hour LiPo battery. So I have noticed that the video transmission here is a lot worse than I'm getting on 2S, and I think that's because there's maybe less power being pushed to the transmitter, which is an odd thing I've noticed. But flying wise, it's great. You are able to hit gaps, you're able to fly it around. It is a little bit heavy, not quite as much punch as my, say for example, my Acro B, but it's perfectly competent in what you want to be able to do, even if the pilot in this case isn't. So I decided to then take it outside when I was playing on 2S. It can be flown indoors, as I will show, but it is a little bit hard work to sort of maintain a good consistent flight. But it's really very stable at this point, and it is very, very fast. So again, I'm just taking it outside and just showing off that you can still hit certain gaps that you can hit, and there are some gaps that you struggle to hit because you can't see. There's just a limited talent that I have when it comes down to flying Tinywhoops, but it is really good fun, and it's certainly capable of flying outside. I really want to show off also what range you can get out of this. So this flight has been sped up, but I want to show how far you can actually fly. So this has got the XM Plus receiver, so you can see the RSSI at the top, but I'm now looking at how good the video signal is, and I'm flying as far as I can until I start hitting signal that I can't fly in, and then I turn back, but that's a really good range. So from a freestyle perspective, you can really have some fun with this. That's a very terrible attempt at a matic flip, but I still survived, I'm still flying, so it counts. Now I'm just flying around and enjoying how much fun you can have with this. It is able to fly very, very comfortably outside if the wind is at a reasonably low level. You can do orbits, you can do tricks. One of the things that's really interesting is when you throw it like this, you've actually got no momentum, so you don't carry on like you would with a 5-inch quad. You just flick it, and it will just immediately stop what it's doing. But it's good fun, and it's certainly an interesting flying experience. And if you are a beginner, it's a really versatile tool and allows you to do a lot. So, what did I think of the Mobula 7? Now, I love flying this. I love taking this out, and I like throwing it around a lot. You can do matic flips, you can do all manner of things with this. It is great fun. The biggest issue with this, and it's not that I'm going to be surprised when on, is this frame is really quite flimsy. I've broken mine in 2 places already, and that was through not massive impact. So the frame is the biggest letdown. Now I have ordered some V2 frames to replace this with, so it shouldn't be a problem, but we'll see. I've heard reviews that say that people are saying they're having problems with the V2 model frames, so we'll see what that's like. But flying this is an absolute delight, and I really would recommend it. If you want to get into flying FPV, this gives you a lot of capability. It's got a lot of things that you can do with it. You can fly indoors on 1S, you can get used to it. You can move up to 2S if you want to fly indoors, or you've got a bigger space to play with indoors. You can take this outside on a non-windy day and actually thrash this around. And I was flying with some of the guys from my local club, and they were impressed with the speed this has, and the manoeuvrability is excellent. And so it gives you a lot of bang for your buck. And at about £90, $80, or between £90, $80 money, this is really, really good value. And even if the frames aren't great, everything else in it works really, really well. The bits I would like it to have would be having the smart audio connection or a tramp connection, just because it makes my life a lot easier in terms of changing channels and messing about. I kind of came to the conclusion it wasn't the biggest issue in the world, but it's just a little bit frustrating. Ultimately, I just think it's really, really good. I'm interested to see what the new Eachine trash can do in terms of just the amount of fun you can have with these. But realistically, if you were looking to get into FPV, buying one of these, you get yourself a transmitter and a set of goggles. Everything else that's in the box is fantastic. So frames are downer, but everything else about it is really, really good. Anyway, as I mentioned, this video, I was helped by working with Dronenodes, who I've got a link in the description. Great website, lots of very useful resources. Please go check them out, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for reaching the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. It really does help grow this channel. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.